There's a wolf in sheep's clothing on the Nintendo Switch eShop, and his name is TumbleSeed.
Let's go!
Simeon, I sprung this game on you, and you said it was... What'd you say on Twitter? It was really...
On Twitter?
Yeah, super clever. You were like...
Oh, yes, that's right.
It's a bad seed or something like that.
Yeah, I said something super duper clever about... Yeah, it was...
Yeah.
Yeah, some seed puns. I can't remember them at the moment, but yes, I did.
But if you didn't follow us on Twitter, you missed some wonderful seed puns. This Nindie game...
If you're into that. Is that a thing?
This Nindie game is a rolly roguelike.
Yes.
If you aren't sure what a roguelike is, this would be a great time to click the card that pops up and pause this video. We'll educate you and you can come right back. Basically, it's permadeath. Every time you die, you're starting the game over again. And it's a rolly in the sense that you're using dual stick analogs to adjust a bar and roll your seed up the hill you're trying to reach the top.
Indeed. This was developed by developer Iowa. I think that's how it's pronounced. It looks like an abomination of a name. I'm sorry. A-E-I-O-W-U. Is that how it's pronounced? Iowa?
Yeah, they spelled it phonetically.
And this game is also available on Mac OS.
Yeah.
Not that we are condoning playing it on a different system. It's also available on Windows and PS4.
Yeah. I think I have seen Dark Simeon playing the other versions.
You probably have.
So we'd have to ask him how it works on those, but I can speak to the Switch one.
Yes. It's based on an old arcade game called Ice Cold Beer. And it's played by
Disgusting,
rotating
Simeon.
two knobs, trying to get a little metal marble up a slanted wooden surface that has
Physically?
holes in it. Yep.
So
It's like a physical, like almost like a pachinko machine or a pinball machine.
it's like backwards pachinko.
Yes. You're trying to get it all the way up to the top.
Huh.
And if you've ever played the game Labyrinth, which is, like a wooden box with holes in it and little fences, and you're trying to get the little metal marble through, you know what it is.
This episode's going to be a little dense, so buckle up. We got to talk about the core abilities. You start out with 4 different seeds that you can be, and whatever seed you are is what you plant when you go over a plot. The 4 abilities that you have are Flag Seed, which is kind of like planting a checkpoint as you're going up. Now, each thing that you plant uses up a resource called a crystal, and you are limited in those. You have to get more as you go, and you have to be kind of wise how you want to spend them. So planting a flag seed is kind of like clipping in if you're lead climbing up a mountain, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, putting another little...
Yes.
What are those called? Piton?
I believe so. So yeah, if you fall, you go to that last checkpoint. Next is Thorn Vine, and for each crystal you plant, you get another little thorn that rotates around you very slowly, and you can stab enemies with it. If the enemy's in the right spot at the right time, you're in the right spot at the right time, and the rotation is in the right spot at the right time. So obviously the more thorns you have surrounding you, the better chance you have at hurting enemies. Next is Crystal, and this is free to plant. You have to do 3 of them to have 2 crystals pop out to use for other seeds. And lastly is Heart Seed. This is the hardest one to get the return on investment from. You need 4 planted to gain a heart. And that reminds me of Zelda. It's like getting a little piece of heart.
A little piece of heart.
Yeah.
Just every little thing.
And you lose hearts by getting touched.
So those are your abilities. What is your goal and how do you get there?
Goal is to get to the very top of the mountain, and how you get there, I have no idea. I've been trying since I bought this game. So you do it by avoiding holes, avoiding enemies, and planting the right kinds of things, because you want checkpoints every so often so that if you go in a hole, you don't fall super far down. The farther you fall, the more hearts you lose. So it's kind of ridiculous. The controls are accurate. They definitely take some getting used to, because most games you have direct control over your character, but in this one you are controlling a bar.
That might have been one of the reasons why I was so turned off by this game, is that I don't have direct control, and I'm a control freak.
I would honestly like a cheat code where you can just move it with one stick. But this game does feature some awesome HD rumble, some really good stuff that feels differently depending on which seed your character is being and how fast it's rolling down the bar, and then depending on where it's at the bar, you'll feel it in your left or right hand. So it's a really good example of HD rumble. The graphics in this game are one of the best parts. They are beautiful and unique graphics, very awesome art style, and that kind of crosses over into the presentation of the game, and it has some really good presentation, some very funny dialogue. It feels kind of like Nintendo localization, something they would do, but also unique and indie. Like some of the characters speak in emoji, so that's funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you see a text bubble coming up and then it's just a face. I didn't expect that at all. There are a few enemies though, I regret to inform you, that look entirely out of place in this beautiful graphic style, and they look like they were done in Microsoft Paint.
Ouch.
So, like, the most annoying enemy I've come across is a snake, and the snake just moves so fast, and it makes a beeline for you, and it can go over holes, it can go over other enemies, and it looks really ugly because it's not interacting with
anything.
No, it's just... So it looks bad. You gotta hate the snake to begin with anyway, just because of how difficult it is.
Hashtag hate the snake.
Hate the snake. Exactly. The music is really good though. Fits the tone of the game, has very good looping. You appreciate looping music, don't you?
Yes, I do. I do very much appreciate it.
It's hard to make tracks loop perfectly.
It is. It takes some work. I've done it on a couple of occasions, and it is difficult.
But the soundtrack is available online, and I think even that in itself is worth looking up and listening to or purchasing. So now let's get to what really makes or breaks this game. And that would be the seeds and weapons and power-ups and auras that you get that are apart from the normal 4 that you start out with. Because you can get more along the way. And this is a roguelike, so how the level looks is different every single time, and the rewards that you can get for getting into the secret caves and stuff are
what
different.
You'll need
what
is
you'll
different
need,
every
absolutely.
time.
So what I like about all of them, there's tons of seeds and they all have very funny names. So
that's a good thing. At least they sound funny.
Yes, it's clever. They all have like some kind of botany pun, so that's good. I'm glad they did that. It's exciting to discover new ones because I kept playing through this game and I was like, another new power-up, another one? Surely I've seen them all. And then lo and behold, there are new powers with new funny names and new cool effects. So it seems endless for a while as you're progressing through this game. Some other benefits of this game are like you can pick up some like side quests that are apart from the main objective of getting to the top of the mountain, because you're going to try to get to the top of the mountain hundreds of times. So it's nice to have little smaller targets to go along the way, like kill 3 enemies in a row or something like that. And there are leaderboards and daily challenges and things like that to keep the game fresh.
Keeps you coming back.
Yes. Alright, rubber meets the road right here because we have to get to the conversation of difficulty.
It's so frustrating.
Did you like your surprise challenge episode?
I like that it was a surprise challenge and that I did it. And I like that it told me that this game is not for me. It is definitely not for me because it's so difficult.
Yeah, I don't mind difficult games. We made an episode called The Hardest of Hard Games, and the ones that I mentioned, I had beaten. So I can stick with a hard game and I can learn how to overcome it. But this game I'm not sure about. I have not finished it yet. And at first I was really charmed by the difficulty, and I was surprised that such a cute game, and that's why I called it A Wolf in Sheep's Clothing, could be so deceptively difficult. And I did keep learning to improve for a while, and I was thinking, wow, this game is going to be a 10 out of 10 because it has everything. But then I got to the point where my skill kind of plateaued, and I started reading online other people's impressions of the game. Like, are most people better than me? are only 10% of people finishing this game? Is there something I'm missing? Some technique? And a lot of people are feeling like I am, that at some point the game becomes unfair, and it's almost like they really want you to lose, and they're trying to keep you from getting to the top of the hill. Because I realize that there are some balance issues, and I think that the developers even acknowledge this because they say that they're not opposed to doing patches in the future. So this review might change if a good patch is implemented. One can hope, right?
Good old patch could fix things up.
But I found that success in the second region of the game, and there's basically 4, I think, from what I can tell of how far I've been and how the map looks. Success in that second region comes down to luck. And I got so good that I can go past the entire first stage without even planting a single checkpoint, and I can just farm other useful things. But then when I get to the second one, which has snakes and spiders and an abundance of holes, there's one power-up that seems to get me through it reliably, and that's like the time slowing down one. And if I don't randomly get that one, then I'm pretty much hosed. Because the worst thing about this game is a lot of the power-ups hurt you. And I couldn't believe it. I picked up this ghost thing, and the ghost flies around the screen like a DVD screensaver, and it hurts things. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. But it touches you, and it hurts you. And you cause an avalanche to fall down and hit enemies, and it hurts you. And a lot of gamers echo my sentiment that that's just not right. Like, you want to find the cool power-ups, they cost a lot of crystals to use, and you want to wipe out some bad guys.
That's right.
And the developers are like, no, we don't want to make it too easy, but they went too far in the other direction, unfortunately. There are some really dumb anti-player decisions, like, remember how I said, like, the more thorns you get around you, the safer you are, the more likely you can hit someone. If you fall in a hole, you lose all of your thorns. All of them. And a heart. Or more hearts. Depending on how far you fall. But I can't believe, like, if that affects your hearts, then it shouldn't affect your thorns. Falling in a hole doesn't affect all of your seeds. Like, you can get a shield, and that won't go away, so I don't understand why the thorns do. Because you can invest in 5 thorns, and then they're gone with 1 hole. Spikes insta-kill you no matter how many hearts you have built up. And
you're done.
Mini power-ups cripple or kill you. Like, I got this really cool, like, poison aura that was killing things that got near to me. But it ignored all my hearts except for 1. It basically brought me down to 1 heart. Deactivated the rest of them.
What?
So I don't understand. And I hope that I can make it to the top of the hill someday. I hope that they will patch this game. But as of right now, it's a 7.75 out of 10, which is still pretty good.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad. It's an indie game.
Oh, you have to be prepared to be frustrated.
Oh, and I am not that prepared. I would pass on this game, but was it worth getting?
At first, I really believed it was worth getting. Now, I would say maybe buy this if you're up for challenge after you've bought Thumper and Graceful Explosion Machine. I mean, I can't speak to that one because I haven't bought it yet, but I'm almost hoping that I had bought Graceful Explosion Machine instead. So yeah, I'd say it is worth it, but there are probably some other games in the eShop that are more worth it. So
unless they patch it.
Yeah.
Get on that patch, Iowa. Jeez.
And patch your developer name.
Seriously, it's gross. No, I'm sure you're great, guys.
So I have really enjoyed this game, and I wish I could enjoy all those power-ups more. I just know that it's so much safer for me to stick to the 4 automatic ones, and that's unfortunate. So this game still has a lot to enjoy. If you're the kind of person that beats hard games, I say do check it out. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for being a part of the crew.
Don't forget to leave your comments below. What are your impressions of this game? Have you played it? Do you like it? Is it too difficult? Let us know in the comments.
See you guys next time.
Signing out.